Everyone got a prayer book when you walked in, and a Torah book?
Yep.
So people watching can see us? Can they see us or just...
Right now they're just seeing the top of the ark.
wear these masks. I wear. Okay. All right. Roll the Torah close, Sydney. Good. Put the cover back on. Okay, good. Okay. Woo. All right, everybody. Good morning. Good Shabbos. I am so happy to be with the pastor family. You have no idea. I saw Andy. There you are. I met Brianna. I see Allison and Jeff. So good to see you guys. And of course, Steve and Dawn and Alan, and we definitely miss Wendy. And I know she's watching, and we're praying for her really hard, and I'm so glad to hear she's doing well so far. Okay, all right. So, we're going to get started. Mike, are we on? Good morning and good Shabbos to everybody watching us. Wendy, special shout out to you. We look forward to having you back here soon, and we hope soon we'll all be able to gather without these masks and with only a few handful of people. So I'm Rabbi Silvers. This is our cantorial associate, Sarah Freudenberger. It's our pleasure to be with everybody here today to celebrate with Sydney, as she's called in the Torah as Bat Mitzvah. For Sydney, she was scheduled back in the spring. Right? We had to move things around. So finally we're here, Sydney, and we are thrilled to be here with you and all your family. And we know you're going to lead us beautifully this morning. So Cantor Sarah is going to welcome everybody and get us in the Shabbos mood. How good and how pleasant it is that we have all gathered on this Shabbat morning to enjoy this new day, to be with one another as we celebrate with Sydney as she becomes Bat Mitzvah. So, if you've got a prayer book, we're going to turn to page 74. That's where we're going to start in a moment. But first, I'm going to call upon Dawn and Steve, Sydney's parents. They're going to come up and they're going to present her talis today on this wonderful occasion of her becoming Bat Mitzvah. Steve, Dawn, come on up. Sydney, push the button on the mic so they can hear everybody, so everybody can hear them. Push the other one too. There you go, Dawn. Good job. Don't be shy. I want you to read right into that microphone. We want everybody to hear you, Dawn. Steve too. Dawn is hiding already behind Steve.
I'm old, I have to get glasses. Hold on one second. On this Shabbat, we rejoice in your coming of age in our tradition. As a symbol of your entrance as a responsible member into the adult Jewish community, it is our honor to present you with this talit. This talis was brought back from Israel from your mama and papa. And inside there was a note to you to be read today. It says, Dear Sydney, as you become a bar mitzvah, you will shine on the bima. This talit, with its silver and gold, will be a true reflection of who you are. Forever and always, love mama and papa.
Oh, that's nice. Please.
Our tradition teaches us to put tzitzi, fringes on the corner of our garments, in every generation as a reminder to observe all of God's commandments. Now, as a bar mitzvah, a child of the commandments, you are ready to make moral choices, to grow emotionally and intellectually, and to take responsibility for the mitzvah of your decisions. Be holy unto your God. Bring blessing to our world, and may you bring to the household of Israel the same pride and joy, nachas, that you bring to us.
All right, Sydney, you're going to recite the blessing, and then Mom and Dad are going to help put that tallis on.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitatef b'tzitzit.
Okay. Give Mom and Dad a hug and a kiss. Blow a kiss to Mom and Pop for that beautiful gift. And now, for all of us who are here, who get to celebrate this day, Cantor Sarah is going to lead the Shehechianu prayer, thanking God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Praised are you, eternal God, who has kept us in life, sustained us, enabling us to be here in this very special and joyous occasion. And we all say, Amen. Okay. Dawn, I don't know if you were crying or fixing your mask already. All right, Steve, Dawn, you guys can sit down. Thank you. Sydney is going to help lead us throughout our service, and we're going to begin on page 74 with the beautiful song that Cantor Sarah is going to help chant, Matovu, which shares the beauty of our tents and our dwelling places.
Israel.
Incidentally, for those of you joining us via our live stream, if you want to follow along and participate in the service, we have a virtual copy of the prayer book on our website. You can find it under www.cbi, that stands for Congregation B'nai Israel, CBI Boca, CBIBOCA.org. Under the worship tab, you'll find Shabbat. You click on that, and right on that page it says link to the virtual prayer book, so you can follow along if you'd like to. We're in the middle of page 74, where we join together in the English. How fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. I, through your abundant love, enter your house. I bow down in awe at your holy temple. Adonai, I love your temple abode, the dwelling place of your glory. I will humbly bow down low before Adonai, my Maker. As for me, may my prayer come to you, Adonai, at a favorable time. O God, in your abundant faithfulness, answer me with your sure deliverance. We transition to the morning Shacharit service as we join on page 106 with Sydney helping lead us all in the chanting of the Chatzi Kaddish, page 106. And I told Sydney, I promised her I would say it over and over again. Sydney, loudly, clearly, slowly. Into the microphone, Sydney, so push that button, make it blue, there you go. Don't be afraid to move it close to you. And we're going to join with you as you lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish. Amen. Amen. On page 108, we reach the call to prayer. We have to be summoned before God to pray to God. It opens on page 108 with the Baruch Hu. Let's all please rise as we join together. Baruch Adonai Hamforach Leolam Vaed. And we may be seated. We turn to page 110, there in the middle of the page. Let's continue together in the English. Praised are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom you form them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. And at the top of 112, Avarabav Tanu Adonai Eloheinu. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears, whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah.
והערננו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא נבוש ולא ניכלם ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד ולא נבוש ולא ניכלם ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא פתחנו נגילה ונשמחה בשועתך.
Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. On page 114 and 115, Sydney leads us all in the proclamation of our faith. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Sydney, let's lead the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
And on page 116, Sydney continues with the chanting of the Ve'ahavta prayer.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מזבך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. As we turn to page 122, every day we praise God for the redemption of our ancestors from the slavery in Egypt. We understand the importance of freedom in our world. And finally, our ancestors were given that gift by God as Moses became God's spokesperson as he performed signs and wonders in the land of Egypt to ultimately force the Pharaoh to let our people go. And we are taught that this song that we sing, Mi Chamocha, who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped, who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders, that song was sung by Miriam, Moses' sister. She led the people in song like Sydney is leading us here today. I don't even know if Miriam had as nice a voice as you do, Sydney. But I know the power that women have to lead us all to freedom and to help us all sing. And Sydney and Cantor Sarah are going to help us relive that moment when Miriam led all the people out of Egypt through the split sea that God had split, that the Israelites could walk across on their way to the promised land. There on page 122, we continue with Mi Chamocha.
Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi Chamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh felek, nora tehilot oseh felek. Shira hadasha
Blessed are you, Adonai, the one who redeems the people Israel. We reach the central prayer of our morning service on page 124. This is the central prayer of all three of the daily worship services in Judaism. Our ancient sages, our rabbis, when speaking to each other about this prayer, would simply refer to it as ha-tfilah, the prayer, because it is the prayer par supreme. They knew what they were talking about. But it's also known in our tradition as the Amidah, the standing prayer. For when we recite this, we do so standing. So I'm going to invite everyone to rise right now on page 124 as Sydney helps lead us in the prayer. Page 124, Sydney.
Adonai, sefatati tahu biyadi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu,
Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu,
Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei
let's take the next few moments in silent prayer. You can just turn inward and offer up the prayers of one's heart, or use the prayers from the prayer book from page 132 to 142. And when you finish, once again, you may be seated. This coming week is the week of Thanksgiving, so I thought I would share with you this beautiful reading on page 139, which incorporates some English and some Hebrew. This prayer, as part of the prayer we just recited as we stood, is the prayer of Thanksgiving. Modim anachnu lach is its opening words, and that literally in Hebrew means we are thankful or grateful to you. Clearly speaking to God. We are grateful to God. So, in this week of Thanksgiving, this coming week of Thanksgiving, let me share this. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, Modim anachnu lach, we are grateful to you, O God. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, Modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We turn in our prayer books now to page 244 for our Torah service. In our current world, with the way things are, we are doing this a little bit differently. Instead of going up to the ark and inviting people to join us, the Torah is already on the table for Sydney, but we are going to continue with our Torah service as Cantor Sarah continues on page 244.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'ein kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai oz le'amo yitain Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom Avarachamim heitiva v'rtzoncha et Zion Tibnei chomot Yerushalayim Tibnei chomot Yerushalayim Ki v'chol levad batachnu Melech eram v'nisa Adon olamim
Havu Godel Eloheinu Knuchavod LaTorah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah Ki mitzion teitzei Torah Udevar Adonai miYerushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Baruch shenatan Torah Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of Torah. And let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachtav.
Yours, Adonai, is the greatness, might, splendor, triumph, and majesty. Yes, all that is heaven, that is in heaven and on earth. To you, Adonai, belongs sovereignty and preeminence above all. We reach now our Torah service. So, we are privileged to learn a little Torah as well as listen to Sydney chant from the Torah this morning. So Sydney has prepared a teaching, what we call a Dvar Torah. So Sydney, you can close your prayer book, you can get your Dvar Torah ready. This is, again, as I explained early, Sydney's date was originally in the spring, but because of the pandemic and the coronavirus, we postponed it. So she had already learned this wonderful portion from the book of Leviticus called Shmini. And so she is going to share with us about the Torah portion of Shmini and chant from Shmini. And as we continue with the study, the learning, and the chanting of Torah, we offer this blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, who makes us holy with the commandments, commanding us to busy ourselves or to engage in words of Torah. And we all say amen. Now, Sydney, slowly, loudly, clearly, right into that microphone. I want my mom to hear it all the way in Tampa. Put the mic closer to you, Sydney. Move the whole thing closer.
Okay.
Are you good?
Yes.
Go ahead.
What?
The bass, you can move it from the bottom. Move it. There you go, Sydney.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming. Now that I've read from the Torah, I'm so happy to have this opportunity to speak to everyone. Before I explain all about my Torah portion, Shmini, I would like to say some big thank yous. First, I would like to thank Tomer for everything that he has done for me and how much he has taught me. Cantor Sarah has guided me through this and helped me gather the confidence to stand here today. I would also like to thank Rabbi Silvers for everything he has done for my family and I. He was at my baby naming and was the rabbi at my parents' wedding. I think he might have whispered something into my ear about the importance of learning about Judaism. Yes, Rabbi Silvers, I will make sure that even after my bat mitzvah, I will continue to learn all about my Jewish culture. Okay, everyone thanks their parents, but I really have to thank them for always being there for me. Their guidance, love, and support helped me reach this day, and I love them so much. Alec is my little brother, and he is my best friend. We always love to surf together and watch movies on the weekend. Standing on the bima feels so surreal. B'nai has always felt like my second home. I have been here since Mommy and Me classes and have gone to many different events and services ever since I was little. At these different celebrations, everyone would always sing and dance on the bima. My Torah portion speaks a lot about kashrut, kosher. It deals with the multiple foods that Jews are permitted to eat and how they need to be prepared. The laws of kashrut are difficult to understand. The Torah portion points out three basic categories. They are meat products, dairy, and pork. It is very complicated because the Torah was written thousands of years ago and times have changed. Health and safety of foods is now a main concern. As you get older and become more knowledgeable, you get a better understanding on how to make your own decisions. That's why, as a Jewish woman, I will listen, learn, and decide what is best for me. Thank you to my family, my mama, my papa, aunts, uncles, cousins, and everyone live streaming. Thank you so much for helping to make my 2020 COVID rescheduled bat mitzvah special.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Sydney. A little faster than I would have liked, Sydney, but it was beautiful. All right. So, Sydney is going to chant from the portion of Shmini. That's what she learned before the pandemic hit us. So, if you have yourselves one of these nice big Torah books, you can follow along. And I'll give you a page number. Give me 1 second. 707. 707. So I'm told. You have it? Well, I have to get there. Okay. I'm here. Now I see it. So Sydney, move your prayer book. Uncover the Torah scroll. Put a cover on the chair. There you go. You got your yad, the pointer that Mom and Papa brought back from Israel also, that everybody in the family uses. Now move that microphone, pull it down. Exactly, Sydney. Look at, you don't need the rabbi here at these services. Not when you got Sydney pastor. All right, so you know your spot, and we're going to call up Pop, Uncle Andy, and Aunt Allison. Yamdu, Hanan ben Yitzchak, Netanya bat Yitzchak, Yitzchak la'ali ala Torah. Okay. All right, you guys, the blessings are right there in the laminated sheet laying on the table that she's got her speech on top of. Find the blessings. Push the button on the microphone so it lights up nice and blue. And do it all together. Baruch Adonai Barak Leolam Vahed. blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam natan b'tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten
Amen. Allison, Andy, Alan, you guys did a great job. Thank you. And now they're blowing kisses to Mama. Okay. Now we're going to call up Sydney's parents. My dear Steve and Dawn, Ya'amdu, Mordechai ben Yitzchak v'Shachar bat Avraham v'Sara l'Aliyah l'Torah. Baruch Adonai Barak Leolam Vahed. Amen.
V'shor va'ayil lishlamim, lizboach lifnei Adonai, umnicha belulav v'shaman, ki hayom Adonai nira aleichem, vayiku et asher tziva Moshe el penei ohel moed, vayakrevu kol ha'etzah, ve'amdu lifnei Adonai. Vayomer Moshe, Zeh hadavar asher tziva Adonai tasu, vayra alechem kevod Adonai.
Okay, Steve, Dawn, blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Now, Steve and Dawn, you're going to stay right there because now it's Sydney's turn. Sydney, it's my honor today to call you to the Torah as the bat mitzvah. Tamon, Netanya Ariel, bat Mordechai v'Shachar, habachura habat mitzvah. Do the blessing before.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu min kol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Now chant the final aliyah, Sydney.
Vayomer Moshe el Aharon, kerav el hamizbeach, ve'aseh et hatacha, ve'et olatecha, ve'chaper badha uvad ha'am, ve'aseh et korban ha'am, ve'chaper ba'adam, kash tiva Adonai. Vayikra Aharon el hamizbeach, vayishchat et egel hachatat asher lo.
And the blessing after, Sydney.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Simen tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, simen tavu, mazel tavu,
Roll the
mazel
candy.
tavu, simen tavu, mazel tavu, simen tavu, yehelanu, 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 ulet kol Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, ulet kol Yisrael. Simen tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, simen tavu, mazel tavu, simen tavu, mazel tavu, simen tavu, yehelanu.
And people thought we put up this plexiglass because of the pandemic and the virus, but we did it so the B'nai Mitzvah kids wouldn't get hit in the face with candy. There you go. All right, Steve and Dawn, you have the opportunity to share some words with Sydney on this very special occasion. Sydney, just roll the Torah back together. Make sure you take the yad because you got to give that when it's Alex's turn. He's got to use it too, so you guys got to take that home. All right, and Steve and Dawn, be my guest.
First and foremost, we'd like to thank everyone here, as well as all our friends and family watching on live stream from home this morning. We would also like to give a special shout out to an incredible human, our woman of valor, our matriarch, who couldn't be here today on the Bima with us this morning, who is battling a war we are confident she will win. We love you and we miss you, Mama. Now, in Mama's words, get on with it, keep it moving. Sydney, it all started with April 20th, 07. You are our angels sent straight from heaven. With your curly blonde hair and the biggest blue eyes you've ever seen, we became your parents. Your mommy and your daddy to our Sydney Bean. Everywhere we went, from school to down the shore, Sydney Alexa was always out to find out the whys. And what's that for? She was always so inquisitive. She spoke to everyone, and I mean everyone we saw, that I began to shout out warnings to passerbys, letting everyone know she's a hugger, so brace for the fall. An old soul is what we've been told of your quiet strength, your love, concern for all. Sydney, you excel at everything you set your mind to, from dance to singing to even making the soccer team. You are such a wonderful granddaughter to Mama and Papa, a fabulous friend to all of your besties, who are most here today, a great niece to your aunts and your uncles, and a fun-loving, caring cousin to all of your cousins. You are the best big sister to your little brother, Alec. You even let him join in on your TikToks, and if anyone knows Sydney, that's a lot of love. All kidding aside, Sid, Mommy and Daddy could not be more proud, watching our curious little girl grow into such a smart, beautiful young woman. All of your hard work and dedication has paid off, honey, and as you stand here before us on the Bima, you radiate a light that can be seen from miles away. All of your hard work is here, and it's done, honey. Our wish to you, as a bat mitzvah, is to continue to be curious, to dance like no one's watching, and to love like there's no tomorrow. We love you. Mazel tov.
How do I follow that? I have glasses. Sydney Alexa, Mazel Tov. You did a fantastic job leading this service and reading from the Torah. Mom and I are so happy you've chosen to become a bat mitzvah. Today you have become a woman with a Jewish identity and heritage. Sydney, you have carried on the Jewish traditions that are so very important to our family. Our hope and our wish is that you continue these traditions as an adult and one day teach them to your children. It is an honor to be a father to such an incredible young lady. I was quite nervous to be a father. Then I found myself in the hospital holding Mommy's hand while you were being born. And like that, Dr. Rudolph held up this screaming little girl. And I mean screaming. You were this big, you screamed this loud. When they put you on the exam table across the room, Mommy looked at me and said, "Go with Sydney." My first assignment as a father. There seemed to be a dozen doctors and nurses poking and prodding. And when they finished, the head nurse looked at me and she said, "Dad, she's all yours." Sydney, I walked over to you. You were screaming. I put my right hand on your chest and it covered your entire body. I said, "Sydney, I am your daddy. I am going to take care of you for forever." And at that very moment, somehow, you stopped crying. You opened your eyes and looked right at me. Instantly, I was no longer nervous to be a daddy. I carried you over to Mommy, and from that moment on, you made us a family. Soon after that, it was apparent you were a very special little girl. As a child, two things stood out. One, you were always happy and smiling. And two, you were extremely compassionate. Mommy and I would take you out, whether it be Meisner Park to run up and down the grass, Disney World, the mall, the beach. You would say hi to every single person and give them a smile, a wave, and sometimes even a super hug. Your happiness for life was infectious and everybody fell in love with you. At the same time, we recognized how compassionate you were. If someone was sad, hurt, down, or in pain, your smile turned to concern. You wanted to make them happy or help them get out of pain. And more times than not, your smile, your wave, or that super hug was the remedy. Today, as a young lady, your friends and family appreciate your continued happiness and compassion. There's not a day that goes by when we do not see this. Whether it's playing with your dog, Georgia, laughing uncontrollably with Alec, or dancing around the kitchen making TikToks. Yet every night, you tell mommy about someone you know who is having a challenge, and you ask for mommy to give you advice so you could help. Even when you send me letters from your beloved camp, you start by telling me how exhilarating it was to rock climb, water ski, mountain bike, even shoot a rifle and get a bullseye. But at some point in the letter, you would ask for help regarding a friend who you were worried about because they were having a hard time in camp. Sydney, these are wonderful qualities for an incredible life and the reason why so many people love and call you a friend. I know you always set the bar high for yourself, honey, and I want you to know that your mommy, brother, and I will always be standing beside you. Not only are we proud of you today, but we are so incredibly proud of the young woman you have become. We love you. Our family has been blessed with amazing leadership at CBI since you began with Mommy and Me classes at 7 months old. We would like to thank Tamar and Cantor Sarah for preparing Sydney for her special day. We appreciate your understanding and flexibility with both Sydney's schedule and the difficulties teaching a student during COVID. Rabbi Silvers, you've been present for every major event in this family. It started 20 years ago with Dawn's conversion in Mitzvah. You then officiated our wedding, spoke at Sydney's baby naming, and Alec's bris. Soon we will be standing here for Alec's bar mitzvah. Tell me, is it too soon to book you for the wedding? I would like to say one more thing in closing. It's not often that I find myself standing up here on the bima, speaking, but when you're up here, you believe God is listening. So I'm going to ask God to please bless our daughter on her bat mitzvah with an extraordinary life full of happiness and love. And if I may ask God for one more blessing, it will be on behalf of my entire family that He gives my mother the strength to win her battle and return home to her family where we love and need her so much. Thank you.
All right, stay right there. Go ahead.
Okay. We would also like to give a shout out to our clergy here at B'nai. B'nai has been our home away from home. Cantor Sarah, thank you. Cantor Sarah, thank you for all of your patience and incredible organizational skills. They came in handy keeping Sydney on track. Tomer, thank you for always being there in Sydney's corner and helping her navigate everything she needed to make it to the special day. Rabbi Silvers, whew, where do I begin? You've been there for me from day one with my conversion, my mikvah, wedding, Sydney's baby naming, and Alec's bris to today's special occasion. We adore you and your family, and we love you from the bottom of our hearts. It takes a village, and we couldn't be more grateful to be part of this one. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, wait there for a second. So first of all, Cindy, up on the top of the table, there's some gifts for you that you're going to take home. The small package is the gift from the sisterhood. It's a set of candlesticks that you can mark the sacred times and seasons of Jewish life. And the other gift is a book from the Brotherhood. Don't know what book is in there, but the Brotherhood gives a book to every student, so hopefully it's something you're going to like. And then you've got your own copy of the Torah, which comes from the Board of Trustees. So I pray that that stays in your house and you're able to use that for many, many years to come. You know, Sydney, when we had the opportunity to talk about this portion of Shmini, I shared, and I'm sure you read, you learned all about the laws of kashrut, keeping kosher. And perhaps in that portion, we really do learn about the adage, we are what we eat. So how do we make sense? There's a verse in the Torah portion which prohibits the consumption of a certain type of bird. In Leviticus, in your portion, the Torah tells us that we're prohibited from eating the meat of a stork. In Hebrew, the word for stork is chasidah. It comes from the word chesed, which literally means kindness. In fact, our tradition teaches us that the stork is called chasidah because the stork shows kindness to others of its own species by sharing its food with them. So if we are truly what we eat, we understand why we don't eat hawks and eagles and vultures. Those are predatory birds. They kill others. So we also understand not eating ostrich because an ostrich sticks its hand in the sand and it tries to hide itself. But what about the stork? It's called chasidah, the kind one. Don't we all want to engender this wonderful quality that your parents spoke so beautifully to you about kindness, compassion, and practice that in our lives? What kind of world would it be if we all practiced kindness? So if its behavior is commendable, why isn't it kosher? Well, there's a rabbi, a Hasidic rabbi, he was called the Rizhiner rabbi. He tells us the reason we don't eat the stork is that its kindness is only directed toward its fellow storks, birds of its own kind. It isn't kind or help other birds, other strange birds. From this we learn that kindness is not a trait to be reserved for only certain people, like one's family, friends, race, or religion. Rather, in Judaism, we understand kindness as a universal trait. It's something that we share with all peoples. Your task as you become bat mitzvah, and I'm preaching to the choir already because I know you to be a caring, kind, compassionate person. But your responsibility is to help everyone be that way. Help all people of the world. And as you do that, you're practicing and observing the wonderful trait called tikkun olam, making our world a better place, healing our world. So, I know you're already on that path, and I know that those qualities that you already engender, your kindness, your compassion, your sharing, you weren't born with it. It comes from mom and dad. Steve and Dawn. No, Steve, it comes from both of you. And I have to tell you that for me personally, your kindness and your care for me and for Ava means more to me than I can even express to you. I love you guys so much. I have since the day I met you and we went through the conversion and the wedding and the kid's birth. You both are very special people. You're not just special to me, but you're just special, period. And I thank you for your presence here in this congregation and for the presence of Steve, your mom and dad, Alan and Wendy, because obviously it started with them and probably started before. You know, I probably, as I think about it, the last name pastor, you know, someone who's a pastor, someone who helps. And I certainly think that that's where you get it from. You get it from your family. You get it from the generations before. You guys, I love from the bottom of my heart. And I wish we had hundreds and thousands of members that were like you. Because we would be definitely a better community, a better society, and a better world. And I know that it's going to continue with Sydney, and I know it'll continue with Alec as well. I can't wait for the day the masks come off and I can hug you guys and embrace you and thank you for everything you've meant to me and to my wife over the years. Thank you so much. And Alec, come up here with your mom and dad and your sister, because see, Steve, even I get to share a blessing, and I'm going to bless you guys all together as a family, and especially for Sydney today. And Cantor Sarah is going to help me. We're going to ask for you the blessing that exists from the book, from the Torah, the Birkat Kohanim, the blessing of the priests unto the people of Israel. Cantor Sarah? May God bless you and keep you. May the light light of God shine down upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift his face upon you all with great favor, especially you on this very special day, Sydney. And God grant you, your family, and all your loved ones the gift of peace. And we say, Amen. I need a tissue now. Mazel tov to my dear friends, the pastors, and to all the extended family who are here today. And Alan, to you and Wendy, my hopes and my prayers are what your hopes and prayers are, that she will soon be reunited back here with all of us to celebrate again the still upcoming simchas in the family. All right, we're going to continue back in the prayer book. We're going to turn to page 282. We're all going to rise and we're going to chant Aleinu together.
Adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asar k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kekol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachvavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
We remain standing as we recall now all our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died in this season and years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Currently, the Shiva period is being observed for Lawrence Ducat, the 30-day period of Shloshim for Rachel Winnick, Yord sites at this season for Mark Stephen Beck, Baruch Behar, Alan Berlin, Harry Berman, Joseph Cohen, William Diamond, Mo Drucker, Paul Ira Dubov, Dora Edelman, Herb Freeman, Robert Gilbert, Molly Glickman, Libby Hackenberg, Estelle Heckelman, Stuart Hollander, Linda Krantz, Howard Kravitz, Florence Lowe, Thelma Lurie, Percy Lyman, Ida Salkin, Leon Shore, Harry Schreiber, Nahum Shashua, Samuel Smalling, Morton Solomon, Esme Tashoff, Eleanor Zagan. For them and for all who died from this terrible pandemic and all who died al Kaddish Hashem for the sanctification of God's name, we praise God and we pray for the coming of God's kingdom, page 294, Kaddish. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash ve'rabah ve'alma divrach yiruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh ve'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayedechol Beit Yisrael v'agalav izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevorach le'olam lo me'olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace on high allow that peace to descend upon Israel, all who mourn and all who are bereaved, and we say, Amen. Please be seated. We're going to continue with the singing of the Shamru and to celebrate this special Shabbos day. And then, Alec is going to help Sydney. We're going to do the blessing over the challah. And everyone's going to rejoice. Here we go, page 300. B'nai Israel et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat, ledorot ha-berit olam.
Beini u'bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam.
V'shamru b'nai Israel et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat, ledorot ha-berit olam.
Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz.
V'shamru b'nai Israel et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat, ledorot ha-berit olam.
V'yom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash.
V'shamru b'nai Israel et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat, ledorot ha-berit olam. We'll turn to page 322 for Ein Kaloheinu.
Ein Kaloheinu,
Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Yenu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. All right, Alec, come on up. Come on up with your sister. Sydney, grab the challah over here on the table. Bring it back up to the other table with the microphone so everybody can hear you. Just take the whole, there you go. Bring it over. Sydney and Alec are going to lead us in the motzi. Uncover it. All the cousins. I knew that. All the cousins. I'm sure they all know the blessing. Oh, all right. Sydney, you're going to lead everybody. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Break it apart, enjoy it, share it with moms and dads and everybody. And mazel tov to everybody on this wonderful occasion. Shabbat shalom.
we love you.
Mom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Okay. Mazel tov, everybody. Well done, Sydney. You're welcome, sweetie. Oh boy. I'm verklempt. I am.